So I've been excited, looking forward to this for a while. And I've been wanting to do it because even though I quit coaching, I miss coaching sometimes. But group coaching may always be an option in the future. I'll just have to see how I feel about it. So, I'm thankful that you were able to join me. Originally, I wanted to do this on Zoom, but that wasn't working out for me. And I have some surprises and bonuses in this particular teaching or training, if you want to call it that. And just feel free. What I'm doing is I'm extending grace because I didn't do it the way I originally wanted to do it. I'm going to allow you to, if I don't cover something that you really need to know, I'm going to allow everyone to just send me 3 questions and I may do a follow-up part to this, okay? So I'm going to jump right in. I'm excited, have a lot of information to share, and I just pray that it helps you shift your business as you're going forward into this new year, right? But let me just start with talking about SKUs. Actually, this portion is how to understand the SKUs of your business and how it affects your bottom line. So what is a SKU, right? You can create a dress that you're selling and it comes in purple, green, black, red, white. All of those different colors are considered a SKU. Even the small, medium, large, 2X, 3X, those are SKUs as well. So how to understand the SKUs of your business and how it affects your bottom line. SKUs are really important when it comes to business. That means, how many books you have matters, how many teas you have matters, and how many other kinds of products you have, those matter too. One of the revelations I received from the Lord, and you know that if you're training with me, God is an integral part of everything that I'm doing. But one of the revelations I received from the Lord when I launched my new business, Mega Hair, in 2020, is that I didn't need to launch any more products, until I mastered selling the 3 main oils that I had. So sometimes people are excited to try new stuff, new flavors, add this to the menu, but you have to understand how to sell with a minimal amount of products or services before you go adding other stuff on, right? So when I was coaching, I wasn't out there, coaching on various things. I stuck to what I was known for. And that is how I broke through in sales and broke through in popularity too. Because when you find your people, they will come on board, right? So back to SKU, sometimes people think like Walmart, right? They have this Walmart thinking. So they think the more products they have and the more products they have for people to choose from, it's going to be easier to get sales. But that's not 100% accurate, right? Sometimes the more stuff you have, the more confused you make people because they don't know what to choose from and they just don't make a purchase because they can't figure out what they should be doing, right? I have witnessed personally firsthand a few startups totally disregard this piece of wisdom here, right? Every other week, they're launching a new product, they're launching a new scent, they're launching a new whatever they sell without driving home the customers to their signature products. So for instance, my signature products, it's the 3 oils. It is the original, it is the extra strength, and it is the Shea oil. So my customers, they have to know about these first, right? I've since added additional formulas, but they are introduced to my signature products in almost everything I post, everything I share, everything I talk about in a video. And then when we get them on the website, if they decide to buy something else, that's fine. But they know that Mega Hair is known for the top 3 formulas, and that's why they're the best sellers too, right? So, my signature products, the original, the extra strength, and the shea oil, they started my brand. They are the reason why people came and even continue to come to my website or to my Instagram or to my Facebook because they want to learn more about the products. And they're also the reason why people stay because they work and we promote it so that they understand that this is what we're about. And it makes them comfortable when a brand has what consumers need, right? So here's some things. I'm going to share some things that I found and discovered. It says when you add too many SKUs, that's called SKU proliferation. And when left unchecked, it begins sucking the revenue and disrupting the flow of the business, right? So just imagine, right? My 3 main oils, I just told you what they were, but if I tried to add 6 or 7 more, what is that going to do? It's going to make me have to buy oil for all of those formulas. And then when my products that are the signature are selling or running low, I've had wasted money over here and I can't put the money where it should be going, which is always your signature products, right? So it says when you have something that isn't selling, it reduces business profits. It may appear to be a good idea, but if it's not making you money, then it defeats the purpose of business. And I always say, everything that seems like a good idea isn't a God idea. What is God telling you to do? Is he telling you to go crazy and launch all these products? Or is he telling you to wait and learn how to sell so that you can slowly add new things and surprise your customers with these new things that you created, right? So excess product or too many SKUs leads to waste. We know that, right? Many times people add SKUs because, they don't know how to sell. They figure a new shiny product over here or a new shiny service is going to make people jump and open their wallet, but that's really not how it works, right? They don't know what their customers want, so they throw a bunch of stuff out there instead of maybe taking a poll or a customer survey so they can deliver the thing or whatever product it is the majority of their customers want. You want to endear your customers. You want to make them know that you care, that you're listening to them. And when they know that you care, they'll be free with what they want. They will tell you without a problem. And other suggestions, they'll give you suggestions, and those suggestions will help you grow because you're on the selling side. But from a customer's view, you want to know how they see your brand, what they think of it, what improvements they believe you can make, and overall, what is their experience with your brand. I have a 10-part ebook series coming out, and in it I share how I have some customers that buy every single thing that I release. Those are the ones that I consider my ideal customers, right? So I offer them freebies, I offer them discounts, I send them emails, just to let them know that I appreciate them for their continuous support. You have to do that. You have to connect with your customers, because if a customer feels disconnected or client feels disconnected or a potential client, they're not going to go all the way with you. And that's what you want. You want them to go all the way with you. I'm not sure why my voice is a little raspy, but back to SKUs, right? So I have 2 shows, and they're my favorites that I glean from all the time when it comes to business. One is called The Prophet with Mark Lemonis. You've probably seen him. He wears a little H belt, and he's balding a little, but he's sharp and he's on point, right? And the other one is Gordon Ramsay. So he had a show where he revamps restaurants, right? And what they both do with that is they teach people how to eliminate waste so that they are gaining profits, right? So this was the thing that I had to figure out, and you can probably relate. So have you ever been to a restaurant on their menu? Their menu has like 6 or 8 pages, sometimes even more. And it makes it so hard to single out what it is that you want, right? And that's waste, because when you have 8 pages of different things you're offering in a restaurant, that also means you need to keep product on hand. So on the off chance, if someone orders something on page 8 or page 6 or page 4, you have to have all of that stuff, right, on the off chance that someone orders it. Can you imagine that? And what Chef Ramsay does, which I love, right? He has them kind of assess, well, what are your best selling products? Not all the things under the sun that you said that you would offer if you had a restaurant, but what are your top selling products? And then he has them separate that from the things that no one has ordered in 6 months or a year. So there's some things on a menu that nobody ever orders. Are you still selling that? Is the food still in the pantry on the off chance that you hope it doesn't go bad? If you have stuff that no one wants and no one is buying, then you might need to go back to the drawing board and revamp. It's probably a SKU that you can eliminate. It doesn't make sense to just keep it, just to say, hey, look at me, I have 15 oils, okay, when people are really only buying 3. So that's why you have to use wisdom, and you have to be wise when it comes to SKUs. And what Mark Lemonis does is the same thing like Chef Ramsay does, except he does it with those who have boutiques and other kinds of brands. So he takes them through their inventory, and what isn't selling, hasn't been selling, or in some cases has never sold, whether it's a shoe, a blouse, or a dress, he has them mark it down considerably so that he's turning at least some of that cash into revenue instead of waste. It does you no good you wanting full price for this item when no one has bought it, or you might have only sold 2 of them, and that was 3 years ago. So we have to use wisdom when we're in business, and the SKUs are very important. You want to eliminate waste, and you want to put the money in keeping stock the products that are selling, right? So you might be saying, and I have some tips here. So you may be saying, how do you add the right products? How do you know you're adding the right products or services to your arsenal? And how do you know what to sell or not to sell? And that's a good question. It's a good question. Here, first, decide on your signature products, right? They should be products that are laser focused on what you want your brand to be, and they should be products that your customer, your target market, can easily relate to. So people are coming to me not for my hairbrushes, not for my bonnets. They're coming because they want hair growth, right? They have an issue with their hair. So my products solve that. So that's how I determined my signature product. I wanted extra strength, and for people who wanted some faster growth, I added bonus oils. And then the Shebe is popular, and it's an oil that you use on your hair rather than your scalp. So, it was a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer for me. And like I shared in probably previous videos, I am always a test. Well, I'm not going to call myself a dummy, but I'm like the tester, right? So I have to use the product on me. And when I see results, I'm like, this is viable. This is something we can use. This is something we can move forward on. 2, right? How do you know what to sell and not to sell? Focus on selling products, your signature products, getting testimonials, getting reviews, right? I use a Shopify plugin, but there are many ways to get testimonials, whether it's through a video or you just take their words or you screenshot the inbox message. People love that. They love to know that it's not just your friends and family that are raving about you, but that people out there who just happen to find you and your product love it and it works, right? And this ties into coaching too. So if you have a client, it's the same way. You want people to know that you worked with people. In some cases, you can say what the problem is they had, or you can just get the testimonial directly from them after the session if they want. Because sometimes I understand things are sensitive, but you want authentic feedback so that other people can say, okay, that sounds good, or I'm having a similar problem. Maybe I should go with her too, right? I always ask my customers for reviews because you can get a lot of longevity out of them, right? And you should spend like the first year doing this. You should get so many testimonials, feedback, all that stuff. And I'm not saying don't do other stuff, but as you're selling, just constantly ask for feedback because you want to get better as a business and better as a brand. Okay. I know that many like to rush to the finish line, but it's all about what I'm teaching. It's all about building a reputable company, and that takes time, and it's not a race, right? So spend a year building, tweaking, and finalizing your signature product. And after about a year, you may want to add one or two more. So that's what I did. We started out with a skin oil. We no longer carry that. We want to focus on hair, not necessarily skin. So I focused on that. And then after I got to the 1 year mark, then I added 2 additional oils. So, it's great. People love that. They feel included when you ask for feedback, and you're actually taking the advice of the customers, right? So, yeah, and then point number 3, when you add another SKU, whether it's a lotion, whether it's a workbook, or maybe something in a different color that you already offer, make sure it ties in and complements your signature product. Don't go off on a tangent. Don't go out into left field, right? So that means now is not the time to start a brand new book series, right? Or go into another direction with a beauty product. You want your customers to see your new product and say, well, I'm already using X, so let me try this too, right? So remember, your customers have a problem and they want you to solve it and keep solving it, right? So yeah, don't research and relaunch and add things that you'll have to encourage people so hard to buy because they don't get the connection. So when it comes to SKUs, please proceed with caution. Listen to your customers and remember that more is not always better. That's the thing that I've had to drive home even more than trying to teach people how to build their fan pages on Facebook. So less is more. Concentrated sales. You want people to be using your product or services and seeing such great results that they want to tell someone else without you saying, can you share it with people, right? So let's talk a little bit now about how to beat the competition and become a customer favorite. I shared part of it because really when you're listening to your customers and you're implementing the things they suggest, they're going to say, wow, this is a brand that listens to my needs, and they care about what I care about and what I need. So I'm going to continue to patronize them, go to their store, go to their website and actually make purchases, right? So, this is a great segue when you're talking about how to beat the competition, though, because, your goal isn't just to get an invoice paid. Your goal isn't to get, just money notifications, right? You want to get customers and realize it's not a one and done. You want to keep them and you hope that they will be repeat customers, right? So I have customers who restock every month. They're using the oil. Sometimes, several people in their house use the oil. I got a video yesterday from a guy and he's using my oil on his beard, and, he wanted to show me that it got fuller, but his son is also using it. And my niece, she uses my oil and she has 3 kids. So she uses it on her locks and she uses it on their heads, and, people need to restock, right? You want that. You really want that. You need that. And how do you do that? You do what most people won't do. To have repeat customers and people coming back to you and wanting to do another session or restocking their product, or they bought your book and now they're buying the workbook. You have to go above and beyond, and you have to do what people won't do. We live in a fast food society and we live in a fast business society. People want to launch a business and they want to make 6 figures overnight. They're comparing themselves to other brands that they see, have ads scrolling across Instagram and Facebook, but you have to pace yourself. Amen. So you do what most people won't do. When you pack your order, for instance, you make it an order that you'd love to receive. That means extras, that means cute cards, that means thank you notes, and sometimes it means adding a freebie in there too, or maybe a product they didn't order or even realize you carry. And this is something that will, send their antennas up, right? I'm doing a promo right now with my Trio kit. That's the box product back there with 3 of our top selling oils. So all 3 of my signature oils are in that box, and I'm giving away a free bottle of gummies with every Trio box order, right? And people may say, well, you're giving away products, but our gummies are new, and because they tie in so closely with our signature product, there's a very likely chance that when people use the gummies, they take them in conjunction with their hair oil and massage it in, that they will reorder. And even if they don't reorder, on the off chance that they don't, they'll remember your brand because you gave them something of value completely free, okay? So it's difficult to grow a brand. We know that. That's why there's so many webinars. That's why there's so many Zooms. That's why there's so many courses out there, right? Anyone who thinks it's easy obviously has never done it, right? You have to nurture your brand in its infancy and you have to grow it into maturity. You'll learn what works and what doesn't work and so much more when you're going through the process. But let's talk about how to win customers and make them your favorite and keep them for life. So the first thing you have to do is target your customer with the right product or services. That's it. When someone knows that you are meeting their needs and they're seeing results, that's a tie that they're not going to want to easily break, right? But in order to do that, meaning to give them exactly what they need, you have to know what your customer's pain point is. So pain point, what is the issue that they need solved? Mine is hair growth, or maybe they have bald spots or thinning edges or postpartum shedding, which is going on a lot right now. I have to make sure as a brand that I'm targeting them on the platforms that they use and targeting them in a way that lets them know my product can help. And I have to show them proof. Words are empty unless it backs something up, right? Proof, testimonials, videos, tutorials, and that kind of thing. So what do you do? How do you do that? Make a list about what problems your product or service solves or helps with, and then make that your focus. Make sure that when you're sharing to Instagram, you're sharing to Facebook, that you are cognizant of the fact that you need to be sharing and letting people know what your product or service does and what problems it solves. So many times I'm on Instagram more than I'm on Facebook now, but so many times I see people just buy my product, link in bio, buy my product, link in bio, without a backstory. And you need a backstory. Why did you start doing this? Why did you start offering this? Why did you launch? How has the journey been? Tell people about that because they care, and it makes it personal, right? So your customer's pain point may be something altogether different. You have to find it though, and then you have to flesh it out and see how you're going to convey that you can help with that. You can't just wave your hand and say, "Hey, I'm over here." You have to put it in front of them so that they know that you're available for them. Okay? But that's how you beat the competition. You put in the work, you connect with the customers in a way that takes more time, but it's worth it in the end if you gain a customer for life. Because like I said, I have people who reorder monthly. So that's 12 bottles a year. The original oil right now is $24.99. So you do the math times 12, and that's from one faithful customer. If you have many, that gives you recurring income, right? All right. So how to win customers and make them your favorite, make you their favorite. You personalize your message. Ask yourself what's stopping them from using your product or services or buying your book. You work on that barrier so that you can personalize your information. Many times I get comments from women who have permed hair, and they're wondering if my oil is just for people with natural hair, right? Because they think or perceive that based on photos that were shared. So I've had to update and show people with permed hair, with natural hair, with locks who are still seeing growth so that they understand that it works for all of those types of products. So for instance, if you're a coach and you help people with mourning, you have to let them know that if you are helping them with just renewing and rebirthing themselves after a divorce, you have to let them know specifically what it is you can help with so that they'll say, yeah, that's me. Maybe I should check her out. So that's the personalization I'm talking about. So, and don't forget that personalization can also include answering these questions for your potential customers live, right? Live. You can answer those questions live. I did a live the other day for Mega Hair, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the brand. A lot of times when we have businesses, we want to be behind the scenes. But when are you going to come out front? Because if you're afraid to get in front of people, then they should be afraid to spend their money with you, and you don't want that, right? And going live is just one of the ways, but there are times where I had to actually walk people through, just through direct messaging or inbox. I had to walk them through how to how to get to checkout, how to insert the code that I gave them so they can get a discount. And all of that time and attention, while it may seem tedious, when you help a customer, they appreciate you more. So this is how you stand out, from the others who, they just want a quick buck. The link is in my bio. Go there, go get it. I DM me if you have any questions, and people have had questions before they made a purchase. Sometimes people might have a question before they sign up to your service, and you want to be able to answer those questions so they feel comfortable, right? So they don't feel like your focus is just getting their money, but actually helping them, right? So my next topic was how to engage and really grow your social media. But then the Lord flagged me that I had a Facebook, Instagram growth course, and he said to just drop you in there. So I'm going to drop you in there at no additional charge, so you'll be able to pace yourself and glean and put the steps into work for you so that your social media is booming, banging, slamming, whatever keyword they're saying nowadays. And there's a free book in there, my Savvy Mogul Manual on Business. So you can read that. It has some nuggets and takeaways from brands. And I really hope that it helps you think out the box for your business and begin putting some of the things I shared into place. I know it's not always easy to change or have to go back to square one, but once you build that firm foundation, everything else is win-win after that. Okay? So let me just talk a little bit about how to engage. Well, I said how to engage, but how to increase sales and hit those monthly goals, right? So as an entrepreneur, whether you're selling a product or service, you have to build trust, like I shared before, with authentic stories. So you don't want every post to be you selling something, you telling them about something that you're offering, you telling them about something you launched. The ratio is supposed to be 3-to-1. Add 3 things or posts of value, and then your third one can be you selling and offering something. So it's very important that your followers plug into you. It's also important that you engage them as well. Make them feel special so that you can take the next step and introduce a product or service and see what it is that they need. When I started off in coaching, oh, wait a minute, it looks like my battery is trying to die. Give me 1 second. My dying battery. I should have checked my laptop before I started, but I don't want this to blank out and then you can't, wait, is it charging? Yeah, now it's charging. Okay, so when I started in coaching, I started a group, right? I didn't just start a group because other people had a group. I started a group because I wanted to put people in the group who had worked with me, who had gone through my coaching sessions, who found it successful, who wanted more and wanted to stay connected to me, right? What ended up happening is the testimonials from those people were shared in the group. They were thankful to still be connected to me and even went on to book additional sessions. So, sometimes we jump the gun and we launch a group and we want everyone we're connected to, our friends, our family, people we go to church with, to be in the group. But the people who should be in the group are the people who need to be in the group. It's not about numbers, but it is more so about people who need what you offer. Because if they don't need what you offer, then you're going to have a bunch of people sitting in your group. They're not going to be sharing anything. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to like anything. And that that could lead to your group just becoming stagnant. But if you put people in there who, mine was business coaching, that's what I did. So when you put people who have gone through my business coaching in my group, what started to happen is, people would pose an occasional business questions. I would answer it, and I would answer it, but let them know, listen, I can explore this with you more in one-on-one coaching, right? You can do the same thing with a product you're selling, right? I created a group that is just for people who are interested in hair growth. I kind of let it fall to the wayside because this is like a one-woman show, and I had people helping me here and there. But when you have people who want what you offer in the same place, it's easy to cultivate that. And that's how people grow what they call cult followings, right? Where people who just love what they do or love what they offer, and they would just follow them and become that ideal customer that anything they release or launch, they are the first ones to purchase it. All right. So, I also engage well on social media. I'm talking about how to increase sales and hit those monthly goals, right? So my groups, they are always the ones who, aside from my mailing list, you should have one. If you don't get one, start building one, start directing people to your mailing list, because when people opt in to what you're offering, it's better than you just collecting email addresses and putting them into your MailChimp or Aweber or whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so I engage well on social media, but I also had the mailing list as a backup, and I also had a group as the backup. And I use these things consistently, right? So what happens a lot of times is people start building their mailing list, and then when you don't send out newsletters, it becomes what they call a dead list. It's been so long since you sent out a newsletter, people don't even remember that they're on the list. And when you share something, they get annoyed by that and they unsubscribe. So if you're going to do any of these things that I'm telling you, make sure that you have time for it and make sure that you nurture it. So don't just have a group, but nurture it. Even if it's you posting an article in there about whatever your niche is, right? Even if your mailing list, you've been featured in a magazine or you have a new blog post, send it out, because remember, the people who opt into your list are the people who are saying, I want to know more about what you're doing, and when you do it, can you let me know? So those are the people you definitely want to nurture. Like I said, I always engage very well on social media. That's how I learned to grow my Facebook. I think my Facebook page is 14,000 and I'm at 25.9 or something on Instagram right now, right? But one of the things I did is, I shared advice. So I was a relationship type person, meaning I was sharing like a relationship tip every day. A lot of people who are connected to me now connected to me through the relationship tips I used to share every single day for about 5 or 6 years. So that's consistency for you. I didn't want to drop the ball, right? Even if someone posted something or had an issue, I just go in with one line of advice. And when you do that, it's like allowing them to dip their toe into what you know. I didn't mean to rhyme, but it's also very important to share your stories. It's not so much about the glitz, the photos and all of that, as it is people just want to see that you're real. They want to see that you're not like a pinup doll. Like, I don't always have on makeup. I don't always have on eyeliner. I don't always have on, a cute blouse. Sometimes I look quite bummy, but comfortable, but bummy. And sometimes they just need to see that, because it's like, okay, like tap, tap, tap. Is she real? Yes. You want people to know that you're real, right? So, they also want to feel like you were once in their shoes. So sometimes you have to show a little bit of the flaws and the imperfections, right? So that you can become relatable, right? I remember with dating, and not to go off track, there were people who would just think that I was, just out of their league or out of their reach, or unapproachable is a better word, because of the things I said, did, or how I carried myself. You don't want a potential client thinking you're unapproachable. You don't want them thinking that your products, I can't approach her and ask a question, so I won't buy it. You don't want them thinking that. You want them to know, hey, send me a DM, I'm here. And that fosters lasting relationships. So, whether you've got a product or service, engaging in Facebook groups too, even if it's not your group, if it's allowed, can be a plus, right? Again, don't go in selling. Add value to the group, right? Make people glad that you're there without thinking, oh, she just joined this group because it had 1,000 members and she just wanted to share her stuff. You don't want people to think that about you. And I know that's the hard part, because we all want revenue, and marketing and engaging takes time. It takes work. As you go through the Facebook, Instagram crash course, you'll see that it took time for me to grow and cultivate to the point that, when I post something now, I'm getting 100, 200, if it's a money post, 600 likes on it, right? You want that. You want that. And in order to get that, you have to put in the time. So the rule of thumb with coaching, and it could be parlayed to business too, help first, get paid second, right? Help first with some type of advice, whatever your niche is, and get paid second. Same thing with products, right? If someone has a hair question, I might chime in on that question and say, when I deal with that, this is what I do, right? And they're thankful for that advice. And what naturally happens if you comment on someone's Instagram, what happens? They click and go to your bio and your profile, and you have to make sure what's in there conveys what you're doing, what you're about, and how you can help them, right? So once you do these things, and it just seems like a little bit of things, but there's work behind each of them, right? So when you do these things and set a reasonable sales goal, and when I say reasonable, I mean, we all want 1 million, right? But can you earn 1K a month first, right? And once you do that, then you bump it up, right? Then you bump it up. So I think Adrian sent me a question about clients and growing clients. And one of the things I noticed is that she shared that she used to help or work with at-risk youth. So I would share a story or two, if you can, the type of experience, the takeaways, the learning lessons from that, right? And share what made you become a coach. People like to know why we got started. Right? I would find, and here's the thing that I would do also. I would find, like, this is like the coaching, but you can use it with a product too. Find the top 10 things people are having trouble with. So in your case, Adrian, that would be, transforming, right? It could be a thought they need to transform. It could be an action. Just list 10 things, right? They could be, like I said earlier, going from divorce to single now, or they could be relocating and they're trying to get their life together. They could be a mom at a late age, like 40s or 50s, for the first time, and they're trying to make the adjustment, right? You have to pace yourself. You have to know what you're working towards. And this is how you can help find your ideal audience too, right? So once people like what you share, we're on Instagram. Here's the thing. You're always going to get those obligatory likes. So people who feel obligated to like because you like their stuff, or they're your friend, or they're your best friend. So they feel obligated to like. But you have to make sure that you're reaching other people outside of that, because you want to grow and you want your territory increase, right? Some of the best marketing strategies, I'm going to hit these, and run. Offer a special, right? Offer a freebie, do a BOGO. So if your coaching sessions are usually $99, well, I started doing coaching sessions. I was charging $50. I didn't know what I was doing, $50. But if your coaching sessions are $99 or $197, why not double it and say, this month or this week only, if you sign up, you get 2 coaching sessions for $197, right? Same thing with products. If your products are at a standstill, jumpstart the sales. Say, listen, it's a BOGO. You buy one, you get one free. And people love that. And it's a great way to introduce new people to your products or books, because why? They're probably not going to use both. Some people will, but if it's a book or something else, they'll probably gift one to someone else, right? Use testimonies. Always use testimonies. And one of the things I like and I try to be cognizant of is I try not to go crazy for Black Friday, but you do want to tie whatever you're doing into holidays. So if women are depressed around Valentine's Day because they're not dating anyone, that might be the time for a great webinar, something to pep them up, transform their thinking into knowing that they are more than enough and that who they desire is going to find them. Same thing with oils, right? I can put a heart-shaped something in the box with a purchase. So I say free gift with purchase. I actually have some pink little envelopes with earrings in it and free gift with purchase. You can do that for Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving Day, Mother's Day. Be cognizant of the various times that we're living in, also with quarantine and people being sick and losing loved ones. All of those are things to take into consideration and brainstorm as you go forward with how to grow your business, how to eliminate SKUs, and how to engage better on social media. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on social media. I'm going to actually drop you into the course where I think it might be about 4 hours of teaching on how to sharpen up your social media platforms. The do's, the don'ts, the you better do this if you really want to grow. All the tips that I can muster are in there. So I wanted to just take a moment and thank you for coming, for participating, for being a part of this. And remember, I extended grace. So if you have 3 questions, additional questions, you might say, oh, I wish I would have asked her this or that. If you have questions, send them to me and I will answer 3 of them. I will put them together and do a follow-up. I hope you've been blessed by this. I had a little fun doing this because it's been a while since I've actually done any kind of business coaching aside from just sharing some tips here and there on social media. So I'll see you on Instagram, I'll see you on YouTube, I'll see you on Facebook, or wherever it is you like to watch me. Take care.